you really need to dive into why are we doing this, and ultimately that is going to give you a firm foundation on exactly where you can go from to build your diet plan. Okay, so when deciding on your diet goals, one of the first things that I will usually recommend people to do is to simply assess your desire. So it may seem kind of like, duh, of course I'm gonna do that. I wanna lose weight, I wanna build muscle. But the thing about this is you need to be very specific. A lot of people don't know exactly what they wanna do when it comes to their diet goals. So you need to sit down, maybe even take 5 minutes and say, this is really what I want out of my diet. And this isn't to say that this is going to change. At some point, you might lose a bunch of weight and then you want to build a bunch of muscle. That happens to a lot of people. And that is perfectly okay. But you need to be focused on one specific thing right now so you can know exactly where to divert your goals. So if you want to lose weight, that's great. We're losing weight. If you want to build muscle, we're building muscle. Toning, as I like to say, or recompositioning is where you slowly build muscle and lose weight at the same time. This is hard to do for a lot of individuals, so I'd recommend probably just sticking to losing weight or building muscle. But on top of that, maybe you just want better performance in your life, right? You want to be able to move better. You want to be stronger, faster, all these different things. So maybe even though you're not a quote unquote actual athlete, you still want to build those components of athletics and just be bigger, stronger, faster as a average Joe. And that's kind of like me. I play hockey, deck hockey. It's like street hockey. And even though I'm not a professional, I still like being able to move fast. I still like being able to be strong. I still like being able to be agile. And those are still important for me. And because of that, that dictates part of what I eat on my diets, of course. And then another diet goal could even just be maintaining, keeping where you're at. You could be in a position where you're like, I like how I look. I like how I move. I like how I feel. And you're just gonna coast with that for essentially until you want to change your goals. But being content where you're at is a perfectly fine goal, because if you don't stick with one of these goals, one of the other goals inadvertently is gonna happen. For example, if you're not physically telling yourself right now, I want to lose weight, you will naturally either maintain weight or gain weight. If you're not focused on the goal, it's bound to have one of these other aspects take over. So that's really important. We need to have that focus. And then when you're talking about your specific diet goal, you need to make your goal specific and emotional. Now, what do I mean by these two things? Well, let's use weight loss as an example, and we'll use building muscle as another example in a second. But when it comes to weight loss, maybe your goal, to make it specific, is I want to lose 20 pounds in the next year. It's realistic and it's very specific versus saying, I want to lose some weight. That doesn't give you any metric. It doesn't give you any guidance. So we need to have that something sort of tangible. And when I say tangible as in something you can reach towards, this isn't to say that if you don't reach this, it's a failure. You just need something to project and move towards. That's the whole idea with all this. You need kind of a marker and a target to just move towards. When it comes to making it emotional, this is really key because this is where it becomes meaningful for you. So making it emotional could be, I want to do it to live longer for my kids. I want to lose that 20 pounds so I can live longer for my kids and loved ones. Maybe it's emotional because you never could fit into clothes in high school or college, and you're telling yourself, I'm going to do this so I can build my confidence and finally fit into those clothes that I never was able to do. Let's talk about building muscle. Maybe you want to gain strength and build muscle in your legs, right? So that's very specific. It's a specific aspect. Maybe your upper body is really strong. But why do you want to build that strength in your legs? Well, maybe you want to do it so you can walk long distances when traveling and visiting all the other beautiful countries in the world. Maybe you just want to have enough leg strength to be able to stand longer at your job if you have a job that's very manual labor based, right? And when you do that, you know you're going to enjoy the job more. Making it emotional, making it specific for your specific circumstances is so incredibly crucial, guys. So incredibly crucial. So when completing your fitness goals and when completing your diet and health goals, constantly remind yourself of the why, that emotional grab that you just talked about, that we just talked about. Why are you doing this? What's keeping you in it? What are you doing this before? Is it just for vanity? No, hopefully not. It may be able to just make you look a little bit better. That's great. But finding something deep down and connecting it emotionally that drives you when times are tough. And you know, there will be potential times where they're tough, where you're not gaining a bunch of muscle, right? Or losing a bunch of weight. And you need to persevere and stay dedicated and consistent. That's why the reminder of your why is so important. And kind of as I discussed earlier, be okay and willing to pivot. Be ready to pivot. You may find a crossroads where you're like, you know what? I look good. I lost a bunch of weight and I'm ready to start to get faster. I want to improve how fast I can run a mile, right? You're pivoting your goals. It's not that that other one doesn't matter at all. It just doesn't matter nearly as much as what you're trying to do now. And maybe your goals are going to evolve into something even more, to maybe now, instead of just getting a faster mile time, you want to be able to run a marathon or something crazy. It doesn't have to be. But again, be okay and ready to evolve. Be okay and ready to pivot, because all of these things are something that is going to happen. And you're going to find a point where you're like, I completed that goal, or I completed it as much as I want to and got as close to the goal as I wanted to, and I'm ready to move on to my next chapter, right? That's kind of what you can do to hopefully decide on your diet goals and move you in the right direction. So go ahead and drop a like. Let me know what your current diet goals are down in the description. I'd love to know, and I'm really curious on what you are after. My current diet goals are basically maintaining trying to eat a little bit in a surplus just to gain a little bit of muscle, but really maintaining my current body and just building off that is my goal. So let me know yours down as well.